Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I don't know, I just felt like making a video today. Should have been talk a little bit about life, uh, goals, mindset. Uh, that's really uh, what I've seen over the years. Um, the issue with black people is mindset. Um, and I like to dabble in a few different things. Like right now I got a video of Hassan Campbell playing. He was talking about Charlemagne the God and his allegations of uh, rape on the underage girl. Um, I don't know if there's any truth to that or not. I have no idea. Um, but just the last couple years, just been uh, checking out some of these cats in the so-called conscious community on YouTube. Sarnetta, Black News 102, Barber, TV Fire Every Time, Red and Blue Pill, Black Magic 363, Brother Rich. Um, just a wide variety of things dealing with uh, uh, black empowerment. Uh, you know, you got a lot of stuff out there. You know, you got people out there pushing this flat Earth stuff. You got people pushing uh, black people in a variety of directions. Um, actually, and I've been dealing with some of those things, and I've been dealing with Islam for many years. Uh, but I started my journey back in the late '80s, and just over the years, life experience and living and watching and learning. Um, I think we're not gonna all agree on um, religion. We're not gonna all agree on politics. We're not gonna all agree about spirituality. With many different people. Um, each one of us has a somewhat different upbringing, some differences, between one individual and another. Uh, very different upbringing. I didn't grow up in a neighborhood where, I saw crack being sold on every corner. I didn't see prostitutes walking up and down the street. Um, and it was a lower middle class neighborhood, all black neighborhood. Sheriff was black. All the corner stores was owned by black people. You know, um, so uh, it's different. My upbringing is different than somebody who grew up here, like where I currently live in Tampa, Florida, where if you're in certain neighborhoods here, you know, all the corner stores at least are owned by foreigners, either Arabs or Indians or Asians. Um, uh, rampant. I ain't gonna say rampant crime, but enough. Um, like sometimes when I drive up and down Nebraska Avenue, there's prostitutes walking up and down the street. You know, it completely different environment growing up. You know, um, so we're all different, and we have been shaped differently by our environments. We all have different education levels. So we're not gonna all agree exactly on the same thing. But from my perspective, um, black people in general need to focus on getting our economic situation straight and stable so that we can leave property and wealth to our children who can build upon what we established for them. You know, um, one of the things that like I unsubscribed and I stopped watching Sonetta Black News 102 some months ago. And one of my issues with the major one that I had at the time was the fact that he kept giving these Nuwapians a platform to speak, and they would never condemn their teacher and leader, Dr. York, for what he did, and they kept trying to uh, praise him and big him up and talk about how he was set up and all this other nonsense. Dr. York and any black man, whether he's high or low, whether he's a follower or a leader, if if you have the mentality of a Dr. York, you are an enemy to black people. You are an enemy to your own people. Okay, and that includes Africa Bambaataa, because I believe he did what he's been accused of doing by these people. No man is going to come out and admit to the world that he has been sexually violated by another man unless it actually happened. Nobody's going to admit to that. You know, so I don't believe that these grown men that are coming out and saying that Africa Bambaataa did things to them when they was young. I don't believe that's made up, because no man is going to admit to that. Okay. So anyway, but people like this, they're enemies to black people because they're destroying, causing harm to the very people that they claim that they love and that they claim that they're trying to help. But with that being said, so that's the reason why I unsubscribed from Sonetta Black News 102. Another reason is that Sonetta, um, in general, he hates religion, but uh, my I don't like the shots that sometimes he would take, but also people that he put on his platform, like Ankh, Polite, and all of these people. You know, how they would go in on religion in general, but Islam in particular, really pissed me off. And I know, after being a Muslim for so long and studying Islam as much as I did, you know, a lot of it's just lies. You know, either they're lying to you intentionally, or they're just ignorant of a lot of the things they say. Okay, so um, you know, I got tired of just seeing the BS all the time. So I just unsubscribed. Um, and so I don't know. Maybe I've seen one or two of his videos, since those months ago when I unsubscribed. But I refuse to uh, give Sonetta any type of uh, recognition or whatever. I don't like him. I don't personally. I don't think that he seems the type of me to be like, maybe he has some love for black people, maybe. But if he thinks he can get a monetary gain out of stepping on you or screwing you over, whatever, he'll do it. So that's just how he comes across to me, and you know, I don't have no need for that. But anyway, uh, yeah. So anyway, you know, other people come to this country, immigrants come to this country, and generally, within 30 years of coming here, they come up out of poverty. And I think the reason being is that uh, when you're coming from third world countries, you can come here and you can see the benefit or what's good about America, whereas someone who maybe has been here all their life don't really see it. You understand what I'm saying? You know, you can go to somebody else's city quite often and you'll see things that they don't see, and they've been there all their life, you know, but your eyes are new, fresh, you know. Maybe they're just so, used to it that it's just, it's nothing to them. But there's a saying that familiarity breeds contempt. So I think that, um, for Black Americans who have been here in America, uh, or I think they started bringing Africans here maybe 1400s or maybe 1600s. I forget exactly. But the point is that um, we've been here for a very long time, and for much of that time, were oppressed and held back and pushed down. You know, either by government or by individuals who face no type of punishment or retribution for their actions. So they were allowed to do it. Um, and I think a lot of us have just, gotten accustomed to that. And a lot of us just don't believe that we can rectify our situation. So we accept, living in neighborhoods where there's high crime rates. We accept the fact that we struggle financially. We accept all these things as if it's just normal and regular, whereas other people come here and they see the possibilities of America. I mean, I heard an amazing statistic that over 42% of Africans that come to America uh, eventually get at least a 4-year bachelor's degree. Okay, over 42%. That's almost half. To me, that was an amazing statistic. But these are people who come here from a place where if you don't have money, you can't get an education. You see, you have to pay to go to school in a lot of those countries in Africa. Okay, and if you don't have money, you don't get taught. Okay, but here, education is free. But a lot of our kids don't care. They don't want to go to school. They rather spend all day on their little iPhones or iPads or computers or whatever else, whatever it is they got going on. You know what I'm saying? You know, so we don't appreciate the opportunity that's available to us. Now, it may not be the best education, but you could, you know, you could take whatever you get from the public school education and add to it with your iPhone or your iPad or your computer or whatever. Okay? I mean, that's just, but we don't see the benefit. We don't see the potential. I think a lot of times, whereas other people that come here from places where they have it much harder, they're able to see the potential as soon as they get here. Why is it that all the Arabs and the Indians, when they see the ghetto, they see the streets in the ghetto as being paved with gold? All we see is asphalt and concrete. You know what I mean? So I think we have to change our mindset and realize the possibility, of what could be, or what we can do. We set goals to achieve certain things, and then we work steadily to achieve those goals, one step at a time. Keep building, one brick at a time, one on top of the other. But eventually, you'll have a building, you know. But it's one brick at a time, you know. Um, so we have to have goals in life, and you have to believe that you can achieve these goals because other people are doing it. It's not like we I'm telling you I'm telling you something that is impossible. No one's ever done it. No, we look at other people do it all the time. Those Mexicans will come here and they'll live 4 or 5 people in an apartment, and they're all working and they're all saving money, and then boom, 30 years later they're out of poverty. They got their home out in the county. You understand? They got their vehicles, their family, and all this, that, the other. You see? And what I've noticed a lot of times that what we'll do is, um, if it's 4 or 5 of us in one house, maybe 3 of us working, 2 or 3 of us working, and then the other ones are mooching off the ones that are working. So can't nobody really save no money. The ones that's broke, they can't save no money. They ain't got no job. They ain't working. They ain't making no money. And then the ones that are working are supporting the ones that aren't working, so they can't save no money. You see? So you can't if you can't save money, you're not gonna have any money to invest. And if you mess up your credit, you can't get a loan. And a lot of us do that when we're young, not realizing the effects that it's gonna have on us later, which is what I did. But Alhamdulillah, I'm working on that, getting that straightened out. You know, um, just within the last couple of months, I jumped from a 540 to a 603. So, inshallah, if Allah wills, next couple of months, I'm gonna check it again and see what I'm looking at. But my objective, what I would like to do, because I thought when I heard it, I thought it was a very good idea. I was watching one of Jay Morrison's videos, and he was talking about buying a duplex, living in one half, and renting the other half out. And I thought that sounds like a pretty good idea. So I think that's going to be my move once I get my credit to a decent level. Um, I think that might be a move I'll make. Um, but in the meantime, I still do what I do. I still got my little money going into the stock market using the Acorns app. Uh, that's going out of my account every week. Uh, uh, Maybe once that gets to a certain level, I may uh, borrow against it to invest in something else. Um, but yeah, so I think a lot of times our issues are just it's all mental. You understand? It's mental. It's not physical. You know, nobody's physically holding us back. Our minds are the only thing that's holding us back. Now, there was a time when that was the case, when we were being physically held back and physically oppressed. Um, and it still happens to some degree now, but the world is open. The internet is a 24-hour marketplace worldwide. Um, there's many things that one could do if one just sits down and puts his mind to it and figures it out. You know what I'm saying? There's money out here everywhere, and if you put your mind to getting it, you're gonna figure out a way to get it. And the thing is, once you get it, you have to invest and grow it, make the money grow, and make the money work for you instead of you working for the money. You see? So I think, and that's what I would prefer. Like when I watch these conscious videos that they deal with these type of issues more, instead of always talking about what was going on in ancient Kemet and ancient this and ancient that and yada. Like there's plenty of videos on all that stuff. There's books. I was reading. I read Nat Turner's autobiography back in 19 maybe 88 or 89, I believe. Um, Malcolm X's autobiography. I read all these books a long time ago. Ancient African civilizations. I read all these books a long time ago. Um, but right now in my life, I'm 49 years old. I gotta think about my children and my grandchildren. What's gonna happen when I'm no longer here? What kind of foundation am I leaving for them? You see, these are the things that I need to be thinking about. But I wish I had been thinking about this back when I was 29 or 25 instead of trying to do these things now. But alhamdulillah, hindsight is 2020. You can look back and see all the mistakes you made if you're looking. But yeah, a lot of times our issues did have to deal with mindset, man. If you put your mind to it, you can do whatever you want. You'll figure it out. But you gotta put in the necessary work and thought. You gotta ponder on these things sometimes, and it'll come to you. You know, you become what you think about. You know what I mean? Um, and you gotta have goals in life, and you gotta be able to take one step at a time until you achieve that goal. You understand? You know, um, my goal is to learn at least to a decent level. At least 3 languages. Okay. Um, I'm, I guess, English being my first language, uh, but I want to get to a good level in Arabic, very good level in Arabic, and then Spanish and maybe French or Creole. Uh, there's a lot of Haitians in Tampa, so they speak French and Creole. There's a lot of Latinos here. Spanish is all around you all the time. I'm a bus driver, so I see all these people on the bus. Um, but I know more Arabic than Spanish or French. My French is very little. I do know a few things, but it's very little. Um, my Spanish is quite a bit better than my French because I do actually work on my Spanish from time to time. Um, and but my Arabic is more than my Spanish and my French. At the same time, though, Spanish is easier for me to speak, and I believe that's because of, well, I had Spanish in high school for a couple years, but it's more similar to English. Okay, the alphabet's the same. The A lot of the vocabulary has similar meanings, or the word may be a little different, but it'll have a similar meaning to uh, an English word, the English, its English counterpart, so to speak. Okay, so and I think that's part of the reason why Spanish is just easier for me to speak. Um, but I do actually know more Arabic and understand more Arabic than I do Spanish, although Spanish is easier for me to just put it together and speak it, you know. But if you take the time, you set your goal, and you take the time and the necessary steps, you're gonna get there. It's just simple as that, you know. But you got to do it, and black people have to put in their minds, that we're gonna do it, and I believe it's coming. Jeezy donated $1 million to um, uh, Jay Morrison's academy for teaching black people financial literacy and uh, real estate and things like that. Ti is doing some big things in Atlanta also with real estate. Him and I believe Killer Mike and whatnot. And just it's a big push, So I think it's just a matter of time. Um, I personally, I like Dr. Boyce Watkins and Dr. Claude Anderson. I watch them quite a bit, and I believe these type of people is where the leadership in the black community needs to go, because we can't get behind somebody like a Sarnetta, because Sarnetta likes to take digs at our religion, you understand? And I have a problem with that. Now I'll discuss with anybody, but when you start getting disrespectful and saying things that's blatantly false and lies, then I get upset and I get angry. You understand? And so that's we can I can't deal with I can't uh, put too much into somebody like that. You know, um, so that's just what it is. And black people, we got our differences, okay, and we're not gonna always agree. But when you start getting disrespectful and telling lies and just saying things that's way out in left field, then yeah, it's a problem, you know. But this is a book. I had this book for quite some time. My wife was going to St. Pete College, and so I'd go in the bookstore and see what they got. And this is a book of Arabic stories, okay. And I had it for quite some time, and but a little while ago I actually started studying it. I made videos where I showed some of my other books, but this is, I studied this. So you hear a lot of people say, oh, this word means this, and a lot of times them cats don't know what they're talking about. Look, any word in Arabic, you can find one meaning in a dictionary, but there's probably four or five other meanings. Sometimes a word will mean one thing and its opposite, at the same time, depending on how it's being used and the context and whatnot. So um, a lot of these guys, they say a lot of things, and that's why I can't stand watching Brother Polite videos, because he sounds smart when he talks, but if you know something about the subject, he's full of shit, and he ain't really studied all the things as deeply as he pretends. So like this one right here, and these like this right here. This is um, just a short Arabic story. It's actually from the Hadith, okay, and you know it's what it says is al amal khair min abitala. Al amal khair min abitala. Work or employment is better than unemployment. And this is actually from the Hadith. And actually, what it says is, جاء رجل إلى النبي وقال له يا رسول الله إني فقير ولا أجد طعاما أطعم أولادي وعائلتي فساعدني. So a man came to the Prophet, peace be upon him, and said, O Messenger of Allah, sir, I am poor and I do not have food to feed my children and my family. So help me. فساعدني, help me. فأعطاه النبي فأسا وقال له أذهب إلى الغابة واجمعي الحطب ثم أرجع إلي. ذهب الرجل إلى الغابة واجمع هزما من الحطب ثم باعها وأشتري لأولادي طعاما وثيابا. وعندما رجع إلى النبي قال له النبي كل عمل مهما كان بسيطا خير من أن يقعد المرء يشكو الفقر وينتظر صدقة. But what all that means is a man came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, O Messenger of Allah, I'm poor and I don't have food to feed my children and my family. And he said, help me. So the Rasul ﷺ said, well, he gave him an axe, a fatsan, an axe, and told him to go to the forest, collect wood, and come back. So the man went to the forest. He collected he took the axe, went to the forest, chopped the wood, took it and sold it. He bought food and clothing for his family, and then he came back to the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet told him, what he said, كل عمل مهما كان بسيطا خير من أن يقعد المرء يشكو الفقر وينتظر صدقة. Which means that any work, no matter how simple it is better than sitting around complaining about poverty and waiting for charity, is what the Prophet told him. So the Prophet gave him very good advice, and not only did he give him advice, but he gave him the means to help him. He gave him an axe, and he told him, go to the forest, chop the wood, then you go sell your wood, whatever, take care of your family. And even if it's simple work, it's better than sitting around complaining about poverty and waiting for charity, But the fact that I can read this and understand it is due to the fact that I put in the work to learn and understand it. You understand? And so if you put in the work for whatever your goal is, you put in the necessary thought into it and the necessary work involved in it, and you have to get the result. Just simple like that. The result has to come to you. And I think black people need to put our minds to how do we straighten out our financial situations and to build wealth and to leave foundations for our children and our grandchildren to build upon. And that's where my head is now, at least anyway. So with that being said, I'm going to end this video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.